What's going on, Juneteenth family?
I have to take the lead because if I don't now, when will I do it?
These are all dance groups mixes from since 90.
And risks are important. Risk creates results.
Make sure that you surround yourself with not only the word, but with positivity.
Foremost for having me on for Lunch and Learn.
We start off by wearing all of the hats. Pun intended right there with the hats.
But we start
special needs children and civilians.
I have over 30 years plus experience as a quality professional.
We basically reconstructing what we took part in deconstruct. All the street maintenance. That's how we came up with street maintenance.
I almost had to deal with MCA Records at the age of 19.
Wait
I also partner with other daycares. We're not in a competition yet. We're not in a competition.
What's going on, Juneteenth family? Another edition of the Lunch and Learn session. And today is super special. You know why? Because the festival is this weekend. So this week we have one of our designers that will join us today. Who am I talking about? Miss Nicole Nikki. She is a mom first, okay? She's a beacon of creativity and entrepreneurship. As a dynamic entrepreneur, she's a devoted wife. She just wears many hats. Let me just say that. She just wears many hats. And she has her clothing line, Melanin Rych, which we will talk to her about. Okay, she inspires with her custom wear, her handcrafted jewelry. And she is also, as I said, one of our dynamic featured designers this year in the fashion show at the Juneteenth Festival. Okay, so we are like 2.5 days away. I'm excited to talk to her today. Can we please welcome Miss Nicole Nikki to the stage? Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I am well. So I'm excited today because, as I said, we got like 2 days and we're here for the show. So I'm excited to see all that you have to bring, all the designs, all of that. But before we even jump into that, I'm going to give you a chance to just give us a little bit of background about who you are, your upbringing, and how do we get Miss Nicole sitting across from us today.
Okay, well, of course, my name is Nicole Nikki. I was born and raised in Brooklyn. I currently now reside in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I just flew up in a hurricane just to be here for this weekend, so I am really excited. I am born of, my family is from the Caribbean. They're from Barbados. Okay. I grew up in a very, if you from the Caribbeans, you know, your upbringing is very strict, but very loving. My parents are actually, I guess that's where I get my creativity from. My father sings, so he's into music, and my mother's a workaholic. So I just have the both of them.
It's a balance of the two.
Right. So, pretty much since I was small, I've always been a creative, whether it's music, doing hair, designing, I just have to create something that's who I am.
I know that all is well too, because that's just me. When I looked at what the title for this session was, I said a day in the life of a creative visionary. Oh, that's a conversation that we have all the time. Let's talk about it. Let's definitely tap in. So I know I was reading your bio, and I know you have some background, just like you just said, in hair and working in the salon and things of that nature. So how did that influence kind of, shape you toward entrepreneurship and founding and creating Melanin Rych and things like that?
So I was 16 years old. I started in a hair salon. My grandmother used to go to the hair salon where she used to get her hair done. I guess the owner was looking for somebody to braid hair. and it was during the summer. I was home doing nothing. I'm the oldest between my brother and I, and then the rest of my cousins, because we grew up all together. I'm the oldest. So I was always doing somebody in the house here. I was always braiding this. And I didn't like the way my mother did my hair when I was younger. So I was like, yeah, I have to learn how to do I had to do my own. These clips, is not working for me. So that's how I started out. I started out braiding, practicing on my cousins. And my grandmother saw it. She was like, you're good. And the owner of the salon happened to be looking for a braider. So at 16 years old, my first job was working in a hair salon. And it just started from there. 16 years old, I'm making my own money so I can go and buy whatever I want to buy. And it just that feeling alone, to have some type of independency at 16 years old, that's where it started from.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. And I even speak about that often, of like just like the experience of your first job and just gaining that independence of, like, you always hear your parents or older people in your family like, you need a job, wait till you get a job, you want that, you need to get a job. So when you finally get it and it's like, okay, this is what it's like. Okay, now I'm learning responsibility as far as, balance and, things that I want, and how am I going to prioritize and get the things that I need first. And, just learning true life essentials of how do we get through everyday life, so that's huge. And I know that experience, I can only imagine how much that has taught you, from being in that position. So how do we get to entrepreneurship? What happens in between these times?
Honestly, when I hear people talk about entrepreneurship or I want to start a business, for me, entrepreneurship is not easy, but if it's something that you're good at or it's something that you're passionate about, it becomes easier. Like I was stating, I used to braid hair. That was natural for me. I like doing it. So why not get paid for something that you know how to do and you like doing it, as opposed to, okay, I just want to start a business. Let me just start doing this, and you have no knowledge about it.
Yeah.
So entrepreneurship is easier if you're passionate about it and you do your research and you know how to do what it is that you have a business, what your business is about. So that's kind of how I got into the entrepreneur. Whatever I like doing, I'm just gonna make money off of it because somebody needs it somewhere.
Absolutely. It's nothing. I don't think it's anything too small or too big that's like, oh, I can't do that, or it's no space for that. Even with oversaturation of so many things, I always tell people when they're like afraid of jumping into business, like, oh, well, I seen somebody else doing this already, so I can't do it. I go, how many pizza shops are how many beauty supply stores, how many barbershops are there, these are people doing the same thing, but in their own niche and, in their own creative, unique way. So it's no limitations on what you can and can't do. Like, as long as, just like you said, if you're passionate about it, if you love it, if you want to put the time into it, because it's basically, you trade your 8 hours in for a 24-hour job. Because if you want to build something, you're going to do this day in and day out. It's not like it doesn't make it easier. That it's a passion. It just makes you, it makes the process much more worth it. So
yeah.
I definitely, understand and agree with that. And how would you say, or what a day in the life of you now? How do you balance? How do you, devote time to just taking care of yourself, being a mom, being an entrepreneur, running and being a creative within itself? How does that work?
Okay, well, my day starts at 6:00 in the morning because I have to get up and get my kids ready for school. Um, Throughout the years, and as I'm progressing in my business, I'm learning how to balance things better. Um, and unfortunately, it came because I burnt myself out. So that's a good feeling. So I said, yeah, I have to figure out some type of schedule, some type of, something that I can dedicate my time towards everything and still be
Yeah.
successful at the same time. So of course, my kids are always going to be my first priority. So I'm up at 8 o'clock in the morning, making sure that they're ready, getting ready to go on to school. My kids, my two oldest, they're old enough. I have a 12-year-old son and a 16-year-old daughter. So they're grown where they can do certain things for themselves. But my small, I have a toddler. So that's a bit of a challenge there.
Yes.
With her, I can see she's also a creative. So it works out in my favor because anytime that I have any pieces to make or anything to do, mommy, I want to help you. Okay, I'm going to do something and you can hold that for right now. Just
Yeah.
stuff to make her think that she feels that she's helping. So
Yes.
I'm able to still get my work done, still be a mother. The oldest one, if I need help, they'll come and help me. My husband is there to help me. I do work 9 to 5 as well. So between 9 to 5, that's my 9 to 5. After that, I also limit myself to how many orders or how many pieces of garments or whatever it is. I have to limit myself onto how much I'm taking on. I don't want to keep but I don't want to keep saying, yes, I'll make this for you, and then I burn myself out because I have other
Yeah.
duties that to create, and then my customer is going to be upset because I'm not going to produce 100% quality work. And I'm very big on customer service, and I don't like to disappoint my clients because I feel 100, if you give your 100% to your clients, that would keep them from going somewhere else. You can make
Absolutely.
a mistake. We're all humans, we all make mistakes. Your pieces or your garment or whatever you're selling, something could be wrong with it, but as long as that client sees that you're willing to rectify the situation or you're willing to fix it, and how you treat them, that's what keeps them coming back. So I'm my own customer service. I make my own pieces by hand. I my own marketing person. I do it all, but I have to have a schedule. So that's what keeps me physically, that's what keeps me in line. As far
Yeah.
as in my brain just doesn't stop. I wish it had a off button, but it doesn't.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I said it's the gift, and I don't even want to say a gift and a curse, but that's the thing. It's a gift that just keeps on giving, because it's like, even when you, okay, I want to focus on this, I'm prioritizing this, or this is what I'm working on right now. When you're creative, it's constant. Like, okay, now I got an idea
And
for something else. Okay, now I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with this. Like, it's oh my God, girl, I understand. But it's really, I just I take it all as purpose, and I hold it with much care, because just like you said, it speaks volume through whatever it is that you do, so with your pieces, being a creative and really putting 100% into all that you do, your clients, they see that, they feel that energy, they feel that through interaction, they feel that through customer service, they feel that through the garments themselves, the stitching, whatever it is, especially something that's handcrafted, you can almost feel the luxury of it when somebody takes pride in what they do. So that's always amazing. I want to talk to you about the process of creation. And before we even get into that, just the name Melanin Rych, what made you choose that name? And then I want you to tell me about what is the process. I know you know, just like you said, you handcrafted and how does that work from start to finish? What is a process like?
Well, I came up with Melanin Rych because, of course, I am African descended. I love my melanin. I love my skin. I love the person that I am in my skin. So that's where the melanin part came from. And rich, I spell it with a Y purposely because I think when people hear the word rich, they think money or they think value and, you know, materialistic things. I spell it with the Y. The Y represents you, who you are as a person. And my melanin is rich. I am deeply in love with myself. So that's where Melanin Rych came from.
I love that. I love that. Yes. Yes.
So let's see, from the beginning, the thought pops up in my head. I have to write it down. That's because with me, it's out of sight, it's out of mind. And because I'm doing so many things, I'm going to forget. So if I have an idea for something, I'm definitely going to write it down. And when we were in grade school, they told you to brainstorm. So that's pretty much what I do. I write it down. I write out what my end goal is. Then I start to write smaller steps of how I'm going to reach that end goal. What materials do I need to buy? What patterns do I need to cut out? What do I need any other little material things to go with it? And then I just get to sewing and gluing, and that's pretty much my process. It really is the planning that's harder than actually making what I have to make.
Yeah. Understood. And what are some of the inspirations behind your pieces? Like, what's your favorite piece that you've created thus far? And what would you say are some of your biggest inspirations? And what was the inspiration for that piece that you would say is like your favorite?
I'm gonna be honest. I really don't think I have a favorite because my favorite style to make. I love making mermaid dresses. I like the fitting at the top and then the flare out at the bottom. That's my favorite style. My inspiration. Growing up in school, I took African dance classes, and I think that's where it started from because I was into the music before I got into the fashion industry. So I always loved African dancing and African music. And when I was smaller, I'm not sure if they still do it now, but there's an African Day parade or a festival that used to happen the 4th of July weekend. And when I was smaller, my father used to take us there every weekend. So you see all the vendors, you hear all the music. So that's where my inspiration came from. And the movie Coming to America, even though it's a comedy, just seeing all those people at the wedding and all those stuff in the African fabric, and I love the colors and the prints. So all of that is my inspiration.
Yeah. And that creativity within itself is like endless with the different patterns and just like you said, the colors. I think colors grasp people before anything. Like, we see so many colors a day, we almost don't notice. But when we see, you see a red stop sign, you see a red sign, you automatically, okay, either it's gonna be stop, either it's going, you associate certain colors with certain things. So just on a colorway and a color spectrum with fashion, I think that's always super important. In the fashion industry right now, what are some of your views on the fashion industry right now? Where do you see, fashion going, with a world of technology that we have today, with artificial intelligence and, so many different new ways of creating? What are some of your takes on that?
I'm kind of 50-50 because I'm old school and I think AI is not going to create something the way I'm going to create it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but however, in other departments, I'm going to need AI because I'm only one person and I need help. So it can help my business. I can honestly say that. But when it comes to creating and it comes to ideas, I am a naturalista. It has to be natural. It has to be authentic. And AI can't do that. So for me, I'm not fully against it. But again, when it comes to the fashion industry, as a designer, even when people come to me with designs, hey, can you make this for me? And it's something that somebody else has made.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really big on copying another designer's, pieces.
Right.
If something similar, if you're, I can reference it and I can add my own, my own style to it. But
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to, in fact, that's what the fashion industry is about. It's about creating.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of with the AI. I'm kind of on the fence with that.
Understood. I would have to agree with that because even just as a business owner, and I have a line within my business as well. I'm like, so many people are like, you kind of got to stay with with technology as it continues to grow. So it's not like, you fighting against it, but accepting that these are possibilities of what the future looks like, and how things are going to be happening so fast. But I also absolutely agree with you with artificial ain't real.
Right.
We are real. Our brains are real. What we think and what we create, a technology, a robot, whoever, it can't, it doesn't matter how you build them, they're still not human. So I agree with you 100,000,000% on that one, because creativity, I don't think that will ever die. I
Nope.
don't think that will ever be non-existence. It don't matter what artificial intelligence can create. That within itself, we always gonna need us, and
Yeah.
you're always gonna have to build and just have that connection with others to see what people are feeling. What do you like? What
Right.
what you want to wear? What you want to look nice? So I absolutely agree with you on that. And it just, like, the contribution of I wanted to ask you earlier, as you were saying, not to jump around, but I wanted to ask you, with creating, do you only create like one of ones, or do you make like, multiple of the same items, or is it like, I can do it similar, but they all come out a little bit different? How does that work?
I honestly do both. It
Mm-hmm.
really depends. So I do custom. I like customizing certain things. Um, as far as my own individual line, I also design pieces for Carnival. So that's where the mass production comes in. Right. So everything looks the same there. But when I'm not doing Carnival, I do a lot of individual pieces.
And how does the carnival pit, like, what is that for? Like, because I see some of the most extravagant, beautiful costumes and pieces during those times. How do you come up with those concepts? What is that process like? Is it like, okay, now I can just go over the top? Like, how does that work?
So remember when I started, I said I burnt myself out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that happen
during that
so
time. Okay, got it.
But at the end of it, even though I burnt myself out, it was still worth it to see all those people in your costume. And I think that's what keeps me going, is to see people in my garments and enjoying themselves. But the carnival aspect of my business is a little different than my regular pieces. Usually carnival is based off of a theme. So once we're giving a theme, that's where we design our costumes. Then we have to get down to what type of material, the pattern, the color, the feathers. My living room, and because I'm a one person production team, my living was covered in feathers. I don't think I saw my couch for like a good 2 months. I had everybody hands on deck. I had my husband was cutting and plucking feathers and all of that stuff. I did not get sleep probably the last 2 days leading up to carnival. I was up sewing, stitching, fixing things. Even the day of carnival, I was out there with my glue gun, with my needle, with my thread, making sure everybody looked at the way that they were supposed to. So carnival is a big process.
Massive. Yes. I can only imagine, but it just like you said, it pays off in the end, especially when you see the reception of others and they're like blown away. It's like, okay, yeah, these 3 months of not sleeping and putting this time in, it's all worth it. And the goal is, I think, as we grow through business and we learn from mistakes, and not even mistakes, but just learn from things that happen, it just sets us up for, okay, I know this happened last time, let me prepare just in case this was to come around again, or let me just be prepared in advance for certain things. And I wanted to ask you about just your approach to challenges as an entrepreneur, as a designer. Do you ever have, like, sometimes I go into just creative block of where I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm thinking so much, I gotta stop thinking, because it's not coming together, like, or it's just like, okay, I gotta walk away for a second because I'm getting more frustrated than anything, So how does that work with, just the challenge aspect and certain setbacks? Sometimes people don't understand that, yeah, every day is not the best day, or business is not always at its highest peak. Every day ain't carnival,
Right.
So how do we manage between just finding a balance with challenge and setbacks and still being able to push through?
To me, I mean, my overall motto in life in general is everything happens for a reason. We can always plan. We can make, oh, I want this to happen this way and this to look this way, and it doesn't happen. And I think that everything happens for a reason. Yes, we may be disappointed, but then, like, when I'm faced with a challenge and it's not going my way, I literally have to take a step back. I'd be like, okay, maybe, God is telling me, okay, relax.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted for you. This is not how you're supposed to go about it. Yeah. So I'm going to take a few hours off. I'm going to take a day off. I'm going to try to turn my brain off and just relax. And then even with my sewing machine, like, there's times where I need to finish on a piece or a garment or whatever, and out of nowhere, my sewing machine wants to do its own thing, and I'm like, okay, please, no, not today. This is I was like, what? Maybe it's time to just relax, go take a break, and come back another day. Come back tomorrow, and we'll start over. And I come back the next day, dust it off, and it's working. And I think
Okay.
that apply right. I think that applies in life as well. Like anything we do with, even with the writer's block and creative block. Okay, my brain doesn't work. Maybe it's in overdrive right now and I burnt
Mm-hmm.
my brain. So now I
Mm-hmm.
can't think of anything. So I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna collect myself and come back, and then we're gonna start over from scratch. But as far as other challenges, I kind of like challenges because that's how I learn. I
Yeah.
learn by, like, I get, not to say I get bored very easily, but if I'm not challenged and I can't use my brain, I'm not gonna want to do it. So
Yes. 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 And I also approach challenges with like, okay, this is the entry to the next, like I'm okay, I'm moving on now. Like I've accomplished what I needed at this level. And if I'm
mhm,
asking for, I think oftentimes, and I heard this on Instagram, and I was like, I forget who was speaking, but somebody in an interview, um, she said sometimes people confuse miracles with magic. Like we ask for things of like, God, I want this business to, be at its capacity of, so many orders and so much this and that. And she's like, or you might say, God, I need more money. You don't just wake up and it's a bag of money. He's going to give you opportunities or put you in position
exactly.
or, grant you the different steps and the levels that you need to take in order to get to that. So when we talk about challenges and even as, just being in business, I look at it as well. Just I can agree with you. Just as like, okay, nothing that's happening is like new. Like this was all, it's already written, it's already like it's new to us, but this story is already done. So
Right.
let me just figure out, okay, what is the best? Let me look at it in the most optimistic way first and
Mhm.
foremost. And then let me figure out what is because I'm asking for more. I want more clientele, I want more business. So if I can't figure this out on this level, I
Right.
absolutely won't be able to figure it out at the next level. So challenge is just, an ultimate sign of growth to me. And it
Yeah.
just shows that, okay, you made it through this level. Now I gotta challenge you, just like games, it's levels to it. So you beat level 1, now you're on level 2, level 3, level 4, and it just continues to go. So I know that just instills like, now continue to believe in yourself because you got it. It's already yours. You got it. Just keep going and just keep building on that. I want to ask you about the pieces that you've created and what we are going to see in the Juneteenth fashion show. What was that like? What can we expect, like a particular context of the theme or the creative process? Like how do we prepare for what's going to happen this weekend and what can we expect?
I have a lot of different pieces. So
Mm-hmm.
that's who I am. It's not just one particular look. I'm Because I'm a creative, I throw everything. I like to be different. So
Mm-hmm.
I have we have skirts, I have pants, I have tops, I have dresses. So it's not one particular look. It's just that everything is in African fabric. So
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much what's gonna be seen this weekend at the fashion show. Um, I do evening wear, I do regular everyday wear. I actually started out my brand in hoodies, doing hoodies.
Mm-hmm.
I just grew from there. I didn't want to keep doing hoodies all the time. I just wanted to try something new, try something different. And because I'm a self-taught, I self-taught myself how to sew. I'm
Mm-hmm.
always on YouTube. on Instagram looking for inspiration and how to mix how to customize a shirt with this fabric, or how can I turn my jeans, this was a jean pants that I turned into a top, and I African fabric on there.
Fire.
So that's
fire. Yes,
that's pretty much what
amazing pieces. Yes. And do you have pieces for men as well, or just the ladies right now?
Men, women, and children.
Come on now. So the whole family could get it. Come on. The whole family could get it. So absolutely. Yes. And yes, I love that. I was also thinking and wanted to ask you about, I know you were saying, you do the carnival, you do individual pieces, you do custom pieces. What is the ultimate? And I like that you said earlier that when you write down your goals, you write down the steps in order to get there. What is it going to take, and how do we? Because oftentimes we just write, okay, I want to do this, and it's like, okay, but break that down. Give me the substance of how we're going to get there, and the steps that's needed. Just like you said, what materials are needed? What am I gonna have to use? What fabrics, so on and so forth. With the brand Melanin Rych, what do you see? What are some of your futuristic personal goals with the brand, business goals? What do you envision for the brand just within the coming years?
For me, I'm not going to say an end goal, because I'm always going to have goals for my brand. But my ultimate goal is I want to open up a boutique where on one side we have where I started from, which is the salon. So I want one side that's with African hair braiding, natural hair care would be the salon. Then the other side would be, of course, my boutique where I'm selling all my clothes and my garments. And then I wanted to I'm dreaming of a 2-story building. So the top floor would be for how do I like my modeling agency or modeling school, because before designer, I started off doing modeling as well. So and I always like to help people in my community, people that are looking to get into the fashion world or the modeling world. I give them pointers. I tell them, hey, look into this, or you can go to this place. So that's what my top floor would overall be. So I would have my salon, my boutique, and my school.
Come on, that's a one-stop shop right there, okay? Right. If I could go my hair done and get an outfit at the same time, I'm good. Like, I don't even got
you could come upstairs and take some pictures.
Come on, like that's a killer one-stop shop right there. Okay, so I already know it's going to happen. When it happens, I mean, I ain't got no hair on my head right now, but when it happens, who knows what might be going on, and I can just pull through and say, listen, like, okay, I need a hookup, please. I need who gonna hook this up? Then we gonna go to the outfit side. Because that's definitely major. And even with you saying just giving back to the community, right? I feel like, and we were having this conversation last week about information in the Black community overall, and information, just feeling like it's a lot of gatekeeping, like people often don't feel open to share information, like as if I told you where I got this from, like it's never going to be anymore, or I'm never going to be able to get it again, or like, no, it's enough for us to, I think that as a people, we need to just accept that in order for us to grow together, we have to help each other, so just giving and being open to helping others, that just puts you in position in so many different ways that you wouldn't even know until you do it. It get you helping somebody can help yourself as well. So I want to ask you, with that being said, what is some advice that you would give someone who may be watching this that's like, you know what, I always have ideas, but I don't know where to start, or, I don't know what to do, or where I can go, or what, okay, yeah, I could look on Instagram, but I don't know where to look, or anything like that. What would you give a young person as just some advice, I guess?
I would honestly write it down. Write everything down. Every idea that comes into your head, write it down. And then some people don't know where to start, but like you said, everything is on the internet. You type in what it is, everything is going to pop up. Just type what idea it is that you want to. That's how I learn. I start a clothing line. I'm gonna go on Google how to start a clothing line, and it's gonna pop up. It's gonna pop up for you. It's gonna give you all the steps that you need. If you don't know how to make clothes, go on YouTube. How to make a dress. It's on YouTube. So it's I don't think that the information is limited. I'm not big on gatekeeping either, because what's the difference between me telling a person where to get something and the person, going on
right,
and
exactly.
anyways, they're going to find it. So it doesn't matter.
Right.
I'm totally not a gatekeeper. You ask me something, if I know where to get it, I'm gonna tell you where to get it. Because at the end of the day, I can't do it for you. I can give you the information, but I can't do it for you. And when somebody does something, it's their own style. They put their own style to it. There could be 100 salons, there could be 100, boutiques or whatever, but everybody's stuff is all individual and has their own style. So to help people in the community, especially our youngsters, you got to stay focused. There's so much distractions. There's so much naysayers. Oh, you tell somebody I want to do this, and they're going to tell you, no, you can't do that. You have to believe. You have to believe in yourself. If there's anything that you do, you have to believe in yourself first, because people will kill your dreams, and it would brainwash you into thinking that you can't do it. And collaboration. I'm very big on collaboration. We, like you said, we can help each other so much more if we collaborate instead of competing. It's
I love that. Collaboration over competition. Come on with the takeaways. That's a huge takeaway right there. Collaboration over competition. And, that's just real. And I think that once we really grasp that, we'll be ahead of the game on so many different things. I want to ask you, mom to mom, what does self-care look like to you? How do you like, is that even real for you? How do you, what does this look like? What are we doing? How do we just take a moment just to say, you know what, if I just got 5 seconds of this right now, this is what I'm going to do. What is that for you?
Oh, self-care. I guess washing my hair, going. Okay, so with the schedule thing, I make sure, like, on my phone, my phone is turned on do not disturb at a certain time. At a certain time, I'm not, no notification unless you are in my immediate family. Nobody's calling me. I'm making sure my kids are in bed by a certain time. Self-care, even 10 minutes where I can just sit down and just breathe. That's self-care for me. Washing my hair or doing my nails. I get it in where I can fit it in. And I think people think self-care means you have to dress up or you have to do this. And no, listen, if you're a mom, then you would know self-care, it means like 5 minutes with where you can just get something
Yep.
to drink.
Yep. Absolutely. I was cracking up because I was talking to one of our previous guests, and she was like, I'm not gonna lie to you. She was like, I find it in, pockets of just being able to laugh with my friends on the phone about something, or just being able to come in the house and take off my shoes by myself, and like just having a second to, just like you said, have something to drink without having to share it with somebody. Just find it in whatever the smallest pockets are of, I could watch my show by myself, or I could just sit inside. And it's so funny to me. I laugh at this all the time because I'm a DJ. I've been a DJ for years, and prior to having my daughter, I almost could not be in anybody's car like with no music. I'm like, how are you not listening to me? Like, turn the music on, turn it up. Like, I gotta drive. And my best friend was in the car with me the other day, and she was like, hold on, wait a second. You driving with no music? No. I said, oh no, I love my silence. I love my, like, I don't want to hear nothing. I turn the radio off when I'm in a car by myself, because I'm like, this is my time of just peace. Like, I could just drive and be quiet and just be in my, like, I could just enjoy what's happening right now at this moment. So 1,000%.
That's me in the morning. I know my day is crazy, so I'm gonna get my self-care in the morning. I'm gonna get up while everybody else is sleeping, sit down, drink my cup of tea, and just soak it in, because I know that's all I'm probably gonna get of silence for the rest of the day.
Yep. So listen, the Moms Club, we got to stick together on that. We know how it go, and that's just what it is. I wanted to just get in maybe about 2 more questions before we start to begin to wrap up, because I know you got things to do. I love to ask everybody this question. What is one thing that you feel you owe yourself now? What's one thing that you feel you owe yourself later? And what's one thing that you feel you owe yourself one day? So we got now, later, and one day.
What I owe myself now? A vacation.
Come on. Come on.
I think I owe myself a vacation because I think I have that workaholic, like I have to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even notice sometimes, but I just have to keep going. I have to keep working. I have to keep doing something. So like sometimes my husband be like, would you relax? Would you just chill out? You don't have to do that right now. And in my head, I'm like, yes, I do. What are you talking about? So I think I owe myself a vacation right now. In the future, I don't know.
And that's okay too. You got time to just, that's
I owe I mean, for my hard work and dedication, I do owe myself something, but I just got to figure out what it is when I get to that point.
Listen, that's what we're here for. Just to pose that and just to see. We have some comments here. Hold on, let me tap into the comments real quick. Diana, she said, big up the Beijing culture, cousin. Sky's the limit. I know the feeling. It's awesome. Blessings. African Street Festival is still happening, and the new location is Commodore Barry Park. Yes. Janelle says, amen to collaborating. Yes, to self-care. Self-care can be an Epsom salt foot soak. Yes. Oh my God. Or just a good laugh. We have Anna. She says, I love you. Thank you for keeping it real. If I had a vision of an outfit, would you vision with me to make it happen? And what would it look like?
Yes, definitely. I'm all for working with people.
Come
I
on.
like collab.
Come on. And we have Janelle. Go ahead. Say that last part again.
One hand washes the other.
Come
So
on.
I'm all.
Yes. Janelle says I owe myself self-love and care on continuous basis. I think spa dates and retreats continuously. Yes. Listen, ladies, we have to, it's almost that we have like this guilt that when we're not doing something that's wrong, like, no, I'm supposed to be doing something, or I gotta do something, or this has to be done, or this has to be done. But let's kind of make a commitment to ourselves just to pour back into us a little bit, a little bit, and just to take those pockets and really utilize those pockets and just take care of ourselves, because in order for us to be of great structure for anybody else, we got to make sure the foundation of us is solid, so let's continue to build on that. I want to ask you, what do you want the community to take away from today's session?
To take away from today's session, the sky is the limit. Don't limit yourself. If you can see it, if you can think it every day, and you could obtain it. There's nothing that you just have to put your mind to it and be dedicated towards it. With everything leading up to Saturday and the Juneteenth celebration, we as a people like to come together and, like you were saying, like help each other. From today, if I leave you guys with any information, I am very big on helping people. Forget my clothing line, forget everything else I said. We have to help each other. That's the only way that we're going to last in anything.
Yes.
We have to help each other.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I'm telling you, to take away collaboration over competition. I'm writing it down. I'm going to put
an idea for a t-shirt.
Come on. Put it on a sticky note on my desk, and I'm going to think about this conversation every time I see it. Like, yes, you have to. And that's definitely an idea for a shirt, because that's real. Collaboration over competition is gonna outweigh. It's gonna outweigh. And that's the answer right there. We always ask this to all of our guests as well. Who is your favorite hip hop artist?
My favorite hip hop artist is 50 Cent.
Come on, 50.
Don't get me wrong. He's kind of, his mouth, he has no filter. But I think that's what I like, that he has no filter and he tells it how it is. His delivery sometimes may be like, oh my goodness, did you
50 at it again. He at it again.
But to see him, if you know his story, to see where he started, to see, the history about his parents, and he was raised by his grandmother from Queens, and to look at him now, that is 50 Cent is my favorite.
Yeah, 50 is definitely a mobile, and just like you said, to look at how he
opened up his own studio. Tyler has his own studio.
That's how I'm like, this how he's transformed and taken so many different industries by storm, with clothing, with the vitamin water, with production, with it's just like, okay, it's not I'm sticking to this music and that. No, let me become a mogul. Let me become an icon on a level that I got my hand in so many different parts, that I'm learning and obtaining, so many different levels of success. So I absolutely have a lot of respect for that guy. how can we best help young people in our inner cities succeed? I think that kind of goes back to what we just said with the collaboration, but that's one of our questions that we've been asking in the recent past of just like, just with our young people, but just like you said.
I think, well, for the older generation, trying to help the newer generation, I think we have to keep in mind that times have changed. So their way of doing things is going to be different from, our way of doing things. But we can learn from each other, especially with the technology, and they're so up on this technology. We are going to need to learn how to do it. So I say, like, mentorship wise, you take on, you see a young person that wants to do something with their life, or they're into something that you can relate to and can help them with.
Yeah.
I'm under your wing. Most kids these days, they learn from seeing you do something. So you have to be that example for them, because they're going to do what they see you doing, not what they hear you telling them to do. They're not going to listen to you. As I got 3 kids, go in one ear and it's going to come right out the other. But they will do what they see you do. So it's all about visualizing with this new generation.
Yes, I agree with that as well, for sure. Very hands-on and very attentive in the way that they receive information. So instead of us like, oh, put the phone down, like, we gotta learn that, the phone is the new way of so it's not even always put it down. Yes, put it down, but what are you doing on it? How are you using it? How can we utilize this in its best way, its best form? So I agree with you on just, compromise of, this is how it was done. This is how you do. We're going to meet in the middle somewhere. We're going to figure this out. Last question. Yes. Last question. What does Juneteenth mean to you?
Juneteenth. Oh my goodness. I think before I found out about Juneteenth, this is when I first started my brand. And I was like, when I become successful in my brand and everything comes to fruition, I want this big celebration of everybody in my clothes. I want to celebrate our African. I want to celebrate our culture. That was my vision for myself. So then to find out about Juneteenth and being invited to be a part of it, I think I got emotional. And I was like, oh my goodness, like my dreams are coming to life. Just the culture, the food, to see everybody, mom, dad, sister, brother, the little kids, everybody together, and we're celebrating and we're enjoying our independence. If we didn't have independence, if we didn't have June 19th, we wouldn't be sitting here if it didn't happen. So just to celebrate that's something to celebrate, because we wouldn't be here. So we wouldn't be here.
Real. That's real. That's real. The foundation of just the opportunities, again, that somebody laid that foundation, and those people, fought and did this, and for us to be able to have these opportunities today is huge. And speaking of opportunities, like I said, this is very, very special because our Juneteenth festivities start tonight. They start tonight, today. The Black Kings Award dinner is today. We are celebrating so many amazing Black Kings tonight. So if you haven't got a ticket, please go to our website. I believe, you might still be able to get in. The Black King Awards is tonight. The restaurant crawl starts tomorrow, where we're going to, go to diverse different Black-owned restaurants throughout the New York City area. Saturday, I can't say it enough. Saturday is the parade. Saturday is the festival. It is free. Please come out. Go to our website, Juneteenth, and why register. It's free to register. Everybody come out. Bring the kids. We have a kids zone. Bring the entire family. So many things will be going on. So many activities. So many performances. The fashion show. We have artists performing. It is going to be a day full of festive events, and you don't want to miss it. Music, of course, food, of course, vendors, so many people. Naoki will be there, I'll be there. It's
Yes,
so many. Yes. So come out. And lastly, day 4 is the virtual summit, which is hosted by no other than me, myself. So please tap into that as well. I had such an amazing time sitting across from so many kings and queens of their own businesses and organizations and backgrounds and foundations. And please, I'm telling you, this is a virtual summit you don't want to miss. You can get so much information. We are honoring the legacy of freedom and discussing the ongoing quest for equality in every way. Okay, so again, visit our website, juneteenthny.com, for all the details, the event lineups, the spaces that we'll be in, the times, all of those things. Make sure you follow us on social media for all of that information as well. Naoki, it has been such a pleasure sitting here having this conversation with you today.
It was nice to meet you. I can't wait to see you.
Yes. Please tell people where they could follow you, where they could contact you, your website, all of that good stuff.
You can find me on Instagram, Melanin _Rych, RYCH _. My website is melaninrich.com. That's where you guys can find me.
Yes.
And I'll be there.
And you can find her this weekend at the festival. Come on, we'll see y'all there. Make sure you tap in with us. Like I said, once again, you can also follow me on everything at Forever AMBG. And make sure you stop by the I Had a Praying Grandmother booth. I will be out there with everything I Had a Praying Grandmother. Make sure you follow us on social media as well at I Had a Praying Grandmother, and visit our website, IHadAPrayingGrandmother.shop. This is our last episode until the festival, so we will see you all at the festival. Thank you again, Naoki, for joining us today. You're welcome to come back anytime. And that's it. Until next week. See y'all then.
Bye.
Bye. What's going on, Juneteenth family?
I have to take the lead, because if I don't now, when will I do it?
These are all dance groups mixes from since 90.
And risks are important. Risk creates results.
Make sure that you surround yourself with not only the word, but with positivity.
Foremost, for having me on for lunch and learn.
We start off by wearing all of the hats. Pun intended right there with the hats. But we start
special needs children and disabilities. I have over 30 years plus experience as a quality professional.
We basically reconstructing what we took part in deconstruct. All the street maintenance. That's how we came up with street maintenance.
I almost had to deal with MCA Records at the age of 19.
Wait a
I also partner with other daycare. We're not in a competition yet. We're not in a competition.